Well, what are you asking for it?
If I can get like $60,000 for it, I'll walk away because I want to walk away from it and never look back again.
I gotcha. Back by popular demand, this is another video where you get to look over my shoulder and watch me find a wholesale deal live. On this video, I'm gonna show you live one of my favorite free techniques for finding deals from what are called tired landlords. And these are buy and hold investors that are burned out and ready to sell their rental properties. This is a video you don't wanna miss because you won't see it anywhere else. Coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Quick Start Kit with everything you need to flip your first house in 30 days or less. Download it now at myquickstartkit.com.
If you're new here to the channel, I'm Jerry Norton with FlippingMastery.com, and this channel is all about ways to help you make money wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. A common motivated seller lead type that you can pursue is what are called absentee owners. Now, an absentee owner is someone who owns a property but does not live in it. Now, this typically is a buy and hold investor who rents out the property for cash flow. These can be great leads, but I like to take it a step further and contact these buy and hold investors when their property is vacant. Here's why. Nothing is worse for a buy and hold investor than when a rental property goes vacant and now they have to fix it up and rent it out again. During that time, they incur expenses and no money is coming in. This is the time when some buy and hold investors are the most motivated to sell their properties. We call this a tired or burned out landlord. For example, I once bought a package of rental properties from a burned out landlord who sold me all 5 of her properties. She had gotten a debilitating sickness and she stopped managing her properties and they were vacant and she was just tired of the whole thing. And so I made her an all cash offer and bought all 5 properties. Now in this video, not only am I going to show you how to instantly find them for free in seconds, but I'm also going to show you how to call them and exactly what to say. And then you get to watch over my shoulder, if you will, and I'm going to show you live how I found 2 real motivated sellers following this technique. Here we go. The best place to find buy and hold investors that have vacant properties is on Craigslist, and the technique that I'm going to show you is an unconventional way. Step 1 is to go to your local Craigslist market in the area where you farm for deals. Step 2, click on the housing section. Step 3, click on just the apartment housing for rent box and uncheck all the other categories. Now this is very important. We're gonna look at properties for rent. Why? These are vacant properties, and remember, the ideal time to ask a buy and hold investor if they want to sell is when it's vacant. Now, step 4 is to add additional filters. You could do miles from zip code if you wanted to concentrate that list on just the area where you do deals. The important filter though is the housing type. Now for now I want to focus just on single family, so I'm going to just click the tab house so that I exclude apartments and condos, etc. Step 5 is to click update search and then change your view to gallery. Now I just like to see the list this way. Start at the top and start going through the list. Look for the contact number on the post and call up the owner. Sometimes the number isn't posted and you have to reply to the post via email. So here's a simple script to use when calling. Hi, I'm calling about your property for rent posted on Craigslist. Now, I'm not a renter, I'm an investor, and I'm looking for a property in the area, and I saw your rental posted on Craigslist, and I was wondering if you would be interested in selling this property. I can pay all cash, can close quickly, and will buy it as is. Would you be interested in an all cash offer? Now, in a minute, I'm actually gonna get on the phone so you can watch me call on these for rent posts, so keep watching, but let me share with you 4 pro tips. Pro tip number 1 is to be sure to always ask if they own other properties that they'd be interested in selling. Oftentimes, buy and hold investors own multiple properties. Say the following: do you own any other properties that you would be interested in selling? Now, this actually happened twice on the calls I did, which I'll show you in a minute, so keep watching. Pro tip number 2 is if you end up talking to a property manager instead of the owner, change your script to the following. I work with several investors in the area and I was calling to find out if you're taking on any new properties right now. Okay, great. Also, we're aggressively buying properties right now in the area and I can pay all cash, close quickly, and buy as is. And if you refer someone to me who sells, I can pay you a referral fee. Do you know of any investors, maybe clients of yours, that are looking to sell? Okay, pro tip number 3, if there is no phone number on the post, reply using email through Craigslist. If you get a voicemail, leave a message and then immediately send a text. Make sure to leave it vague so that they call you back. I prefer not to mention that I'm a cash buyer or ask if they are interested in selling in the text or message. Instead, I want to appear like an interested tenant so they call me back. And finally, pro tip number 4 is to make sure you have a good tracking system for all of the calls and conversations you have, or you'll quickly forget who you talked to and which post you've already looked at. Consider my deal management system, FLIPSTER, which will help keep you organized. To see it in action and check it out, just go to getflipster.com. Now that you know where to find them and have the scripts, it's time to start calling. Now, I actually made about 9 to 10 calls just a few minutes ago. About half of them didn't answer, and then from the other 4 or 5, 2 of them were interested. Let's cut to the highlights of those calls so you can watch me do it live and then come back to discuss the big takeaways. And be sure to stay to the end of this video because I've got another really cool tip for building your cash buyer list at the same time as looking for tired landlords. Let's cut to the calls. Hi Andy, I'm calling about your house for rent in Southfield on Craigslist.
Yes, sir.
I was calling to see if you were actually interested in selling that house.
No. I actually have another one in Southfield that I had a tenant in there, and they grew marijuana in there without my permission, so they kind of burned half of the house down.
Oh,
so
really?
That one I want to sell that one. Yeah, I want to sell that one, but I didn't put it up for sale yet. But I don't want to fix it or rent it because I don't want to spend the money and fix it again.
Well, I'd be interested in buying it. So I'm an investor and I'm looking for some properties in that area. I pay cash, close quickly.
Yeah, that house is worth, it's worth like $230, $240.
Well, what are you asking for it?
If I can get like $60,000 for it, I'll walk away because the insurance didn't pay me much. If I fix it, I gotta put money out of my pockets, and I don't want to do that.
Well, I might be able to pay you $60,000 cash. I mean, I would have to verify my rehab number and so on, but
I want to walk away from it and never look back again.
I gotcha. Tell me the address. I'll do my homework on, the area and what I think values are, and then I'll just need to figure out my rehab number. That's all.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks. Yep, talk to you soon. Bye. Jeff, my name is Jerry Norton, calling about your Clinton Township house for rent on Craigslist.
How can I help you, Jerry? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm actually not calling as a renter. I'm calling to see if you had an interest in selling this property. We're looking for a property. We pay all cash. I'm looking for a property in this neighborhood. And
what are you gonna pay me, bro? Give me a number. What's the number?
Good question. I was just checking to see first if you had an interest in selling it.
Usually, I don't sell any of my houses. Because I keep renters in them. And I need cash flow because I have zero retirement, and now I'm 64 years old. And I don't like going in here and fixing the houses after everybody moves out. You may be calling at the right time, but I don't know if you're going to pay the right price.
I do need to buy them with enough margin to go in there and cover, cost of funding, cost of closing costs, cost of renovation, and then to make some profit, obviously.
I've got this one's empty, so I could sell this one, and I've got another one that's going to be empty in about a month. If you want to take a look at both of these two houses, I'm open.
Do you have a number in mind for either of those?
You're going to have a number better than I am.
Okay. Whatever it is, I'll just tell you what it is, and don't be offended if it's too low. If it works, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. Well, that sounds good. I'll take a look at these two addresses. I'll get you, a cash as is number, and we'll go from there.
You got it.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, let's review a few takeaways from these 2 calls. Again, these 2 conversations came from only doing 9 to 10 calls where I was able to pick up 2 motivated sellers and 3 deals to make offers on. That's how well this works. So let's talk first about the call with Andy. Now, he immediately said no, he wasn't interested in selling the house I called about that was posted for rent on Craigslist, but then immediately offered a different property he would sell. Now, I didn't even have to ask. That's one of the reasons why I love this strategy. Again, buy and hold investors often have multiple properties, and chances are they have a problem property they are willing to sell. Now, I usually try and get the seller to give me their price first, which Andy point blank said I'd let it go for $60,000, which actually might be a great deal. But remember the old adage, he who names the price first loses. On the second call with Tony, I tried to get him to give me his number, but he wouldn't, which is very common. So now I'll make the first offer. Speaking of Tony, he was the poster child for tired landlord. He said he's getting older and he doesn't want to fix them up anymore. Of his 10 rental properties, 2 are vacant and he's willing to sell them. So that means if I stay in contact with Tony, there may come a day in the near future when he'll be ready to sell his other 8 properties. That means this one investor could potentially turn into 10 deals over time. And that reminds me, another pro tip is when one of these sellers tells you that they are not interested in selling, ask them if they are interested in buying more rental properties. If they are, find out where and what types of properties they look for, and then add them to your cash buyer list. Now let me know if there were any other big takeaways that you got from watching me talk to these 2 investors. Leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Now, in case you're wondering, here's what I'm gonna do next. Without physically seeing these properties, I'm gonna run them through my instant deal analyzer to determine my offer price. Then I'm gonna call them back and make a verbal all-cash ballpark offer. Now I call this pre-selling on the phone. If they respond favorably, I'll schedule for someone to go to the properties to verify the condition, take pictures and video, and if the numbers still work, I'll put my offer in writing. If my numbers don't work, I'll try and renegotiate. By the way, if you're working on your first deal or you're doing deals every month, be sure to check out my all-inclusive wholesaling and house flipping deal management software called FLIPSTER. If you've never heard of FLIPSTER, it's the #1 deal management system on the market to help you organize, streamline, and automate all of the steps to wholesaling and flipping houses. To check it out and see it in action, just go to getflipster.com. And if you found a hands-on, look over my shoulder video like this helpful, do me a favor, hit that like button right now and leave a comment. Let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and also let me know if you plan on doing this technique right away. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm dedicated to helping you make more money in less time wholesaling and flipping houses so you can live your dream life. And I'll see you on the next video.